Desert Chew and Ace of Pyrite are the casters in the booth for 2 out of 3 games on this triple header Saturday. So let's get them in here real fast and grab their take on something. And
sort of vegetation, that's where I've cut stuff back that needed shredding. I've done half of that. That's going in the vegetable patch to provide nutrition to the soil.
100%, because sometimes you can be double banned inside of a game, whereas obviously now it's more of the adjustment of that measurement has got to be done at some point. But with how
Cyber still locked in position for the time being, but I think so far in terms of the early round, I'd give a little bit of a win towards Furia, but they haven't got a kill. However, I speak way too soon. Hertz comes in and just decimates FaZe.
Hello, he's on for a 4K, maybe even an ace to kick things off here, Tim. Gotta find Vidaking, he knows where he is going to say. Down towards the bomb chassis, but no, Nade's going to snatch it away from him. Honestly, a little perplexed how he managed to get himself into that position where he was on Ivy, pushing his way up. Yes, he had the...
They've got the player on Solar Stairs, they've got the player in Piano, they're making things very difficult for Furia. Having to use utility here to safely get up the ladder, make sure that they can. But look, Furia fighting back. They always seem to have an answer, and they continue to do so. 3 versus 2 in favour of FaZe still, though.
I'm really enjoying this use of the Sense light screen to be able to let them challenge on towards this window, and finally they get the kill they were looking for off the back of it. A little bit messy up towards that point. In he vaults in, straight into an Elamine, and guess who's round in the corner? It's Handy, the man we were talking about at game start. Lay under that big
position this round. We can see that he's playing inside of office. He's backed up by Vidaking in master bedroom and KDS in Piano, but losing souls so early is not going to be a good thing because of a different story. But as you say, I think, you know, they do manage likely without KZ here. So 4 versus 4, they've got the office wall open. They need to get themselves access to the bomb site, which they've done. However, FaZe managed to cut 2 of them down, but Furia, again, they always seem to have answers. There's 50 seconds left to go, but a good idea.
2 players starting to come in on towards him, all from that same floor, as Vidaking now moves above them. He could do a lot of work from above here if he gets into the right spot, and sure enough, Tim, there it is paying off for them. They're in the good for 1, but JV has now got to win this 1 versus 1 against Vidaking with 15 seconds to play, and the Angel of Death awaits above. Does not have the diffuser here, and there he is, Vidaking. Patient as any.
He's very low health. He doesn't want to be. He had a track left, but he doesn't want to be getting into that kind of battle because he's very unlikely to win it at that point, especially being that he's fighting upwards as the top floor now. His job to hold on, although saying that Souls has moved up to take Cyber's position on that blue stairs. So again, it prevents that possession of Ivy falling over to Furia. This is a way better defense from FaZe this time. They've prevented Furia taking any real map control. You know, look at they're all outside still. There's not even one of them in the map at the minute.
That's the problem, right? This is what I spoke about after that end of round 3 during the ban phase. Is FaZe are taking the fight to Furia, and Furia are the ones struggling. Even with a nade in the face there, they're willing to challenge on forward. Yeah, there's a trade there as nade is there for the counter swing. That's fantastic. But it's still a 1-for-1, and when you're the one with the least number of players on the field compared to the team, so much to the camera more than admittedly to his players because they weren't looking at him. But how much he was saying with his hands, I was like, wow, I can watch this guy. It's like I was mesmerized by the use of his hands. It was beautiful. Okay. Google it. I ain't lying.
Sounds like you really went for it. There's just like Nade went for that one. Manages to get himself killed, and it's all going Furia's way. However, KDS comes in, manages to find himself a double. It's still a big ask here. It would be a 1v5, and we cut down by Hertz. And Furia, after what I can...
Step on forward to retake things. FaZe aren't giving up yet, though. They have still got a few players up here willing to challenge. But I watch out towards his right here, Casey, because there could be a swing coming on through. But no, Hertz is there to make sure his teammate is perfectly safe. Good coordination from Furia. Have got much of the top floor they need. And as you can now see on FaZe, all 4 players have dropped back down to at least the first floor. Top floor this time taken by Furia. This is the right adaptation. And they lose 2 players. Okay.
Great adaptation, Des, but did not work out for them. A little bit of pressure coming down Solar Stairs. The Blitz is going to move forward, but be taken out. KDS with a beautiful kill there. 3 versus 1 as Handy picks up KC from the long angle back into sight using those main stairs. Hertz is trying to get something going here, but FaZe are going to give him absolutely nothing. There's 8 seconds left to go. He doesn't have diffuser. He doesn't have a life as Cyber cuts him down from inside. Attack to be a bit more difficult for them.
And again, I could probably give so much of that over towards KDS there. He was the one being a real nuisance because on the bottom of those Solar Stairs, but very rarely do you see someone then try and get a peek out of a window to Furia, do something before FaZe get ready to pull that trigger to execute. And I don't think they can stop them, truthfully, Tim.
Pretty sure FaZe have just wasted one of their impact EMPs. They were hoping to clear out the mute jammer that's got the drone stuck outside of sight, but it hit one of the bodies in front of the Monty. But it doesn't matter, as they are hitting body after body here. Cyber manages to take down JB. Nitro comes out off the shield of the Monty. It was actually shot out, so did not detonate. One kill comes in from Philippe Oxlade. We know that he's a big brain IGL. We know that he can think his way around this problem. Herds is just holding his position on the corner. Furia know that they don't need to get too aggressive here. KZ does get into a bit of a duel with Handy, but finds the headshot before he loses his life. 4 versus 3 as Herds is taken out. KZ low health as well. Philippe Ox taking damage. All things to be aware of, but Furia are in charge in terms of man count, but Philippe Ox taking down. KZ still low health. 3 versus 3. Winnable for FaZe as Souls managed to take down that little bit of health KZ had left. 3 versus 2 now. Careful of the clock here. Down to 40 seconds. Nade comes in, forces a bit of movement from JV, but there's nobody in position for FaZe to take advantage of it immediately. Souls does find his way there though. 1 versus 3. Nade turns it into a 1 versus 2 with the kill on Library Stairs.
On the bathroom window, it's the Ossa that's doing the charge here and starting to get them rolling on forwards. There comes Nade over the top, not quite in the right spot, but in he comes, and he did not expect that. KDS yet again being the playmaker for his team. Almost goes down in the process, but they've turned it into 2 kills. Doesn't quite get the third as JV's there with the shutdown. It's a 2 versus 2, but Tim, one of those players is the Ossa. That shield can go down. They've got smokes to play behind here. Looking a bit dangerous, but they've got a C4 in back pocket. That's what they've got to respect.
The problem that they've got here, Furia, is the...
I assume they expected a Chalet picks. That game plan was perfectly executed.
This was the rematch from the round robin when they faced each other and played A3. That was FaZe winning on Chalet over Furia 7-4. They didn't allow half those rounds to get past them in this matchup. They finished that thing so quick to a point where it almost makes you wonder, did Furia actually learn their lesson? FaZe had played this map twice over the round robin, including that game over Furia.
One of the region's best, but here we go into our bans. Starting out with our first 2. Gonna see the Dockerby.
Bandit ban as well, or whether FaZe have got other plans in mind. It will indeed be back the diffuser down. Cyber has it in hand at the minute, but where are FaZe looking to grab ground? They are starting to get aggressive, but that is far too easy for Furia. Taking down the blitz. Cyber does manage to get in with the trade. 4 versus 3. He takes a lot of damage though, and this is not looking great for FaZe. But again, they just keep finding answers, and that has been a key component of their success so far today.
It has, and this is what I love to see, Tim. More of the same coming out of them, not being willing to kind of bow away from this one, is taking the fight straight to the other side. You can kind of say the same about Fury here. Things like the Cash trying to invite in the price. Sorely needs to get a second here as one drops away. It's Philippe Ox who's gone downstairs. They've got top floor for now, and Philippe Ox does not have a C4. Challenge being, they know exactly where he's going to come back from. Or do they? Now they know Rocket is going to be where he sets himself up. It's the last 2 players of Cyber and Souls, 2 apiece. Who can jump ahead and get the third? Probably Souls at this point, as Cyber is the one. Getting the diffuser down, and Philippe Ox stuck in a bit of no man's land. They know exactly where he's coming from. Sure enough, the pre-fire is there. He's got to hit a headshot. It's not going to happen. Souls with a 3K in the round, and FaZe
can help you overcome that problem. They've still got the Grim. Vitakin can help to create space to put a diffuser down as well, as can the verticality from Cyber. So plenty of options to go running in there. There's not going to be any verticality from Cyber as he dashes in with an opportunity to take down JV92. We do have a trade. KZ manages to find Handy. That's the IQ gone. Furia 4 versus 3, and they can relax for a moment as FaZe just take their foot off the accelerator. Not for long.
Safe for a moment. I was going to say they don't get a lot of breathing room, Tim, because sure enough, a C4 comes out, and yet again, mid-throw, they have found themselves sprayed down by a member of FaZe. Up against here because every attacker is downstairs. They don't really have time to go and start recovering this one, but Vitakin, sure enough, is getting the diffuser down. Souls, riding that reverse angle, gets one for himself, but now the diffuser is down. It's KDS in a 1v1 against Herds. Who comes out on top?
Well, we've seen the Raura gadget have an impact in this round. Will we see the gun? That is going to be the question. Herds doesn't know exactly where KDS is at this point, I don't think. He's just having a little bit of a look around, a little bit of a hunt. However, KDS does have a little bit of intel. Here's the Nitro rip. Now it's just going to play close on this door. Just needs to hold on for about 10 seconds. The challenge is coming. The pre-fire. Herds has won it out. Who else? With time to disable the diffuser as well. Furia get round 2.
A close one, but as we saw kind of in reverse.
Be there ahead of him on the Warden. It's going to be something that FaZe have to deal with. They need this top floor control here. Herds does pick up Handy. That's really not going to help them. The Brava is taken down. I don't know whether they've managed to grab that utility, particularly the bulletproof cam, or not. The FNAT's certainly not in their possession. So, KDS going to take a lot of damage, be downed as well. Furia looking good. 5 versus 3 coming into that final minute.
Oh, but here we go, Tim. This is the activeness that I was expecting. I thought we might see a ban coming against the Azami out at the very start of this game, but hello, Cyber's just turned more 2 back on for a third as well. Just when you feel like the round is yours for the win, they're in a 5 versus 2, Tim. Cyber and Souls do what Cyber and Souls do best. They did it back in round 1, and that is such a shame because it could have been such a cool moment as well.
It could have been. It absolutely could have been. For anybody who doesn't know, obviously vertical nades kind of went away when you lost the ability to cook them. But if you shoot out one layer of the ceiling, you can kind of wedge the nade in there, get it in between.
30 seconds. They've got to make the move soon though, Tim, because at this point, they are running out of time.
Yeah, Casey on the Warden is not going to be some magic answer to those light screens. And
that is
just as they try to push through,
try.
Casey manages to get King. It was close for FaZe. It didn't quite pan out. They could still get this done though. 2 versus 2 as Handy finds KC. Philippok's down and out. 2v1.
Oh, no.
It's over, Des. It's just over. Would fully agree. I've really not been impressed today so far by anybody other than FaZe, realistically. Philippok's does manage to get Cyber. The thing is, Furia's stats probably won't be that bad at the end of the day. They've had plenty of kills. They've been involved, but it just doesn't seem to matter because FaZe just find a way around it. Taking down Cyber's never going to be a bad opener. Herds manages to find Souls as well, but here come FaZe, and this is what happens, Des. This is what happens every time. KDS finds himself down but not out, but believe me, this round is not over yet. We're going to have 1 versus 3. Handy, surely Furia can now get it done.
You'd hope so, Tim. You'd hope so, but we've seen some pretty balmy rounds be given up by Furia here. Only takes 3 shots, and Handy can have this over the line. You would anticipate that Furia have the composure. They have the discipline to not let this one slip away from them. A bit of a bait opening onto the wall here as well, which might draw some eyes away from that spot on the map for Furia. Exactly where he's stepping in now. If he isolates 3 1v1s, this is a very different story. Stepping in for 1 here, has the right idea, but no, they saw him first. Shoulder steps out. A swing from the right, maybe?
4 versus 5, pretty much. You know, it's not quite as simple as that. They do have the first operator for the first portion of the game, but otherwise a 4v5, and are still coming out on top against a top team like
on the far wall. Others being tossed in was to try and move players around, distract them at least momentarily. Plant was baiting out here as the C4 comes up over the top, but it was just that, Tim, a bait. And they get a kill off the back of it. Again, they have a read on absolutely everything here. Plant going down, a man on closed door, Souls is at the ready. This is absolute perfection from FaZe once again. I think scared a little bit about what's going on downstairs. It's JV who's trying to keep them busy, but they've got the read on here. Just how do you beat this team? How do you beat this?
They took the map control that they needed. They didn't die to take any extra. They baited out utility use. Case, giving them the big lols. And all it does is fuel them to go on and win the round.
Can help. Certainly one way to deal with it when you haven't got mutes on side. I mean, I'm kind of surprised because for FaZe, they absolutely love playing mute. A lot of top teams do. Very good way of slowing other sides down. And Cyber, he's had a really good start to the game. I want to say he was 6-1 across the first 5 rounds. 7th one in a row on this map. If we go back to the last map, it's now their 9th entry in a row. But would you bet against FaZe winning the round, even in a 5 versus 3? I don't think I would.
No, you really wouldn't, and this is why, because they find answers. They've got one back, they've taken
they
Herds
can't
out, so it now brings the side of ops.
There's a C4 on Handy, there's a couple of impacts, there's still Malusis they've got to worry about on the charge on forwards, and there's still players like KDS that can do an awful lot of work. This is, I don't know, I'm nervous, Tim. They're down to a 3v3 already. They were in a 5 versus 3, let me remind you. This should be another Furia round. With the way it's starting to shape up, I'm nervous that it's not going to be.
Yeah, surely they can find an opportunity, a little bit of space to put this diffuser down here. FaZe, I'm sure, have got a plan. And indeed they do. They managed to get one. They're looking for the Demos. It's a 2v1 now. FaZe, they lock it out, Des. 3v5. Defenders for Furia. So just those real sort of frustration operators, I think, with Clash and Fenrir being taken. But talk about frustration, Handy.
Wow.
Finally.
DMR, yeah.
That's about it. It's
A
not.
Selma,
It's not
if
a
you're feeling
great amount.
luxurious, Tim. No,
It's not a
really,
great
it's really
amount.
not. They can rely, of course, on being able to watch like the default spots if they need to, is maybe a key thing, but that's about all they'll be able to get. Cyber, once again, going to be the entry death for his team here. We've seen it a lot throughout the series, but not that it matters too much. Again, FaZe is still looking to go aggressive as we get in towards this final 30 seconds or so. Watch out for that C4 in Souls' back pocket.
Yep, Nade needs to find his way into a position to put this diffuser down. They don't want to be having only one chance at it. Erds gets one. Souls comes in with the kill onto JV, but the trade is there. Surely a Furia round. Yes, it will be, as
Good.
Nade manages to trade out Herds. Better from Furia. Even 4 up on the top floor from FaZe. They are going absolutely nowhere here. Need to be careful because they are going to start losing lives if they don't. Hand taking a look around the corner. Does manage to survive. First kill comes in, but is it the curse, Des? The curse of the end trade. 3 versus 3 as FaZe fight back.
Oh, but at this point, there's again brilliant responses coming out from Furia, Tim. That's the kind of aggression they've needed to show. Throwing bodies at those players on that top floor, not giving them chance to breathe, and just capitalizing on the chaos. Really good stuff. Now, Cyber, characteristically, has been one of the first players to go down here. He's the last one left alive, hovering around the site. They're waiting for this plant to go down. They've got no idea where he is. Have they got the long-range support? He sees the man almost instinctively, pulls the trigger, but can't find him or Herds.
Has not come to get on in there, but the next 20-30 seconds I think is going to be pretty crucial when we look at the outcomes that we could find in this round. King taken down, manages to take down Herds. That's going to be the ace gone, so no more breaching.
Oh my God.
JV was waiting for that one. Takes down KDS, but Cyber is there with one of his own. 3 versus 3 as Furia start to get aggressive. Manages to find another. That's Handy taken down. 2 versus 3. FaZe, 40 seconds left to hold on.
Surely he knows there's a player on display. They've just known they've lost a player to JV here. They have to know. But Philippox is the one to get King, and Souls has got to isolate out 1v1s here before Furia start to tighten the net. KZ working his way up green stairs too to come and join his team. That window is very fast closing in here. As the plan starts to go on down, Souls look for one, but JV has worked absolute miracles on that display window.
On his army, just looking to hold them back. They are placed strategically to stop the shield being able to move freely, I think, here. I'll actually try and trap the blitz in. This could be a smart play. There we go. Force him to back up. There's a pre-place name.
Because he can't have someone swinging as well from Ops door to help out there because the keeper barrier is in place. Real cute little bit of play, one that clearly Furia did not expect, and very rarely do you see a team struggling this much to get inside of Ops. And then Herds, well, he does the sort of thing that FaZe have done all series long, Tim, just pulls out a bit of a miracle, and now they're up into this.
There's 2 rounds to go before we get to see whether we're going to have any extras. Look at this pressure from the book underneath. It's something FaZe just haven't been able to deal with at the minute.
He had to get that kill though, Tim. I can't believe he hasn't got away with it. The flash coming through at least staves them off for a second, but Cyber gets one, KDS another, and we're about to run out of time, Tim. There's only one left and he's planting, but no, he comes off the diffuser. Not the way to make it happen, but Furia with a man advantage, no phone calls left, no Deimos. This one's just straight up pure siege to get it over the line.
Philippox lost there, and Nade and JV on lower health as well. Herds taking a bit more damage, cannot get himself established down at the bottom of these blue stairs. Little bit of a problem mounting for Furia now with only 40 seconds left to go. We see a trade come in. King and Nade taking each other out. 3 versus 3, but there's the damage done onto Herds. It looks like FaZe might be able to do this, but Furia still have something to say. There's 30 seconds left to go. Handy, Souls, full health, just need to hold on.
Dude, I mean, one more smoke in back pocket as well. We've already seen the last round how much work that can do as we get into the last 15. Last one comes out here at that 16-second mark, so it will expire before the round is up. That opens the door for Furia to get something done. They've got flashes to play behind, but the vertical control is there too. KZ's on his backside, and they can do nothing, Tim. Furia may have...
Was surprised, I guess, to a degree that Furia was a little bit too slow on those attacks. Had they committed earlier on these rumors, gotten that opening kill a little bit earlier, then they would have had the time to set up proper executes. And I think that was a really smart play from FaZe to try and force Furia to play late round executes because it's not really their main strong suit. And it in the end, it punished Furia hard because that 4-2 split in attack is what cost them basically the 4-2 split in defense especially was what cost them the map. They were put in difficult spot. They were the ones when they had the extended setup that were put in the forefront of the defenses and that were put on the attack as entries most of the time, either getting punished by Herds on the roam when they were in attack, either getting punished by JV on the attack on when JV was in attack and they were defending. I think they will need to look back at this and make sure that this does not become a consistent thing.